Most parents believe picky eating is about food. But it's not. It's about control, structure, and the emotional environment created around meals. Think about how eating usually looks in many households. A plate is served. The child looks at it. They say, "I don't like this." The adult reacts. Pressure begins. Negotiation follows. Someone gets frustrated. And suddenly, a simple meal turns into a power struggle. Over time, this struggle becomes predictable. The child refuses. The parent insists. The tension grows. And everyone leaves the table feeling defeated. Here is the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. The more energy you put into fighting picky eating, the more powerful it becomes. What if picky eating is not a problem to be solved, but a dynamic to be changed? In France, many parents follow a simple but firm rule that quietly ends picky eating, without pressure, without tricks, and without turning every meal into a battle. This rule is not loud. It is not emotional. And that is exactly why it works. The rule sounds simple, almost too simple. Parents decide what food is served. Children decide whether to eat it. That's it. No forcing. No bargaining. No bribing. No alternative meals. At first, this idea feels uncomfortable for many parents. Because we are taught that if a child doesn't eat, something is wrong. That hunger is dangerous. That skipping a meal will cause harm. But French parents operate from a different assumption. They trust the child's body. They trust appetite. And they trust that structure matters more than pressure. In French culture, meals are not emotional events. They are structured routines. Food is not entertainment. Food is not a reward. Food is not a punishment. And food is not a test of parental success. It is simply food. This mindset alone changes everything. Here's where most parents unintentionally create picky eaters. When a child refuses food, adults react emotionally. They worry. They comment. They plead. They negotiate. Just one bite. You liked this yesterday. Eat this and you can have dessert. You won't get anything else. What the child learns is subtle but powerful. Food becomes leverage. The message is clear. If I resist long enough, the situation changes. In France, this lesson never forms. Meals are predictable. They happen at the same times every day. The menu is decided calmly. And emotional reactions are kept out of eating. This creates safety. And safety reduces resistance. French parents do not monitor every bite. They do not count spoonfuls. They do not praise eating or criticize refusal. They sit. They eat. They talk. They enjoy the meal. And children are invited into that calm environment. Let's imagine a typical French-style meal. The child sits at the table with adults. They are served the same meal as everyone else. There is often at least one familiar food on the plate. But there is no separate, kids' food. If the child eats, fine. If the child doesn't eat, also fine. Nothing dramatic happens. The plate stays. The meal ends. The next meal arrives at the usual time. No snacks appear to compensate. No backup meal is prepared. No lecture follows. This is where many parents feel anxious. Because we are taught that a child skipping a meal is dangerous. But developmentally healthy children will not starve themselves. They may skip a meal. They may even skip two. But hunger eventually overrides control. And when eating becomes the child's choice, the power struggle disappears. This is the psychological shift that changes everything. Eating becomes autonomous. And autonomy reduces resistance. Most parents miss this part. Picky eating often intensifies not because a child dislikes food, but because food becomes a tool for controlling the environment. French parents remove that tool. Not through force, but through consistency. Another essential rule in French households is strict meal timing. Children are not allowed to graze all day. They are not constantly snacking. They are not filling up on juice, crackers, or milk between meals. This matters more than most people realize. Appetite is biological. If a child is never truly hungry, curiosity about food disappears. Hunger is not the enemy. It is a signal. French parents respect hunger. They don't fear it. Meals are spaced in a way that allows appetite to build naturally. This makes children more open to trying what is offered. Meals are also social events. Children eat with adults. They observe calm eating. They watch others enjoy a variety of foods. This modeling is powerful. Children learn how to eat before they learn what to eat. There is no pressure to try one bite, no praise for vegetables, no disappointment when food is refused. Food remains neutral. And neutrality is powerful. Let's look at a common scenario. A child refuses vegetables. In many homes, this triggers hiding vegetables in food, bargaining, or forcing bites. In a French home, something very different happens. The vegetables stay on the plate. The parent eats theirs calmly. The child observes. Day after day, exposure continues. No comments. No pressure. Eventually, curiosity replaces resistance. This is how taste develops. Not through force, but through repeated, calm exposure. Research in child development consistently shows that children often need many exposures to accept new foods. Sometimes 10. Sometimes 15. Sometimes even more. French parents understand this. They do not interpret refusal as defiance. They see it as part of development. Another important detail is language. French parents rarely label children as picky. They avoid creating an identity around food. Because children live up to the labels they are given. When a child hears, "You're picky," they become picky. In French culture, food preferences are treated as temporary. Something that evolves. Something that changes with time. This protects the child's relationship with eating. There is also a clear separation between meals and emotions. Food is not used to calm a child. It is not used to distract. And it is not used as comfort. This matters deeply. When food becomes emotional regulation, picky eating intensifies. French parents regulate emotions through connection, not snacks. Over time, children raised this way tend to eat a wider variety of foods. Not because they were forced, but because food never became stressful. This approach also reduces anxiety for parents. Because when you stop managing every bite, meal times become calmer. And calm meals lead to calmer children. At first, resistance may increase. This is normal. When old strategies stop working, children test harder. They refuse more. They push boundaries. Many parents give up here. They assume the method is failing. But this phase is actually confirmation that the old dynamic is disappearing. If the structure remains consistent, the power struggle fades. The child learns something essential. I can choose whether to eat, but I cannot control the menu. That balance creates emotional safety. This rule does not mean ignoring nutrition. It means trusting development. It does not mean being cold. It means being steady. Steadiness builds habits that last. Another misunderstood aspect of the French approach is portion control. French parents serve small portions. They allow seconds. But they do not overload plates. This reduces pressure. Large portions can feel overwhelming to children. Smaller portions invite curiosity. Children can always ask for more. This reinforces autonomy. Meals are also timed. Dessert, if it exists, is part of the meal, not a reward. This removes dessert as leverage. When dessert is not a prize, it loses its power. Everything on the table is simply food. This prevents hierarchy and obsession. Over years, children develop a relaxed relationship with eating. They listen to hunger cues. They stop when full. They explore flavors naturally. This is not accidental. It is the result of structure without pressure. If there is one idea worth remembering from this video, it is this: picky eating is rarely about taste. It is about control. When adults calmly hold the structure, children relax inside it. And when the battle ends, curiosity finally has space to grow. That is the quiet power of the French rule.